Welcome back, folks. In this video, I want to do a high time frame analysis on Euro. So the first thing that I want to look at is the monthly chart, and that's what we're on now. And what's important to note is that on a monthly chart, we have taken out that previous high, that high from the previous month, okay? So we've taken out the highs, which is liquidity. And as I've always said, once the market does that, then the market will want to seek something in the opposing end, liquidity in the opposing end, or some level of inefficiency that the market then needs to balance out. Okay, so that's always important to have on your charts previous highs. So in this case, we've taken out previous month high, and now the market has turned around as expected. Okay, so from that perspective, we now jump down to a weekly chart to try and gauge where is the market potentially headed. Okay, so I think that at a minimum, in my view, this low is very clear liquidity that needs to be taken. Okay, so watch for that. That's the low of the previous week. Now, once we take that, then there would be an expectation the market then seeks something back in the opposing end. So in this move down that we've had on Friday, there will be some inefficiencies as part of that price delivery that the market will most likely go back up to reach for once it's taken out as a weekly low, which is last week's low. The market will potentially go back up slightly, looking for some level of inefficiency that it needs to balance. And I think then we will continue our move down. And so our objective really is to kind of work out where could the market be going with this large move down on Friday. Okay, basically the entire week was a down candle. Okay. And in one of my Twitter posts, I did say that we would be looking for a bullish week. So if I jump over to my Twitter post, I had posted this indicating that we would have some kind of bullish week. And so we do have that now on our Euro. We've got a bearish week on the Euro, which is the inverse of the dollar index as shown on the Twitter. Okay, so I think at a minimum, we will, as I said, most likely reach for the previous week low on Euro and have a retracement, and we'll try and see where that may come into, a pullback. And then I think continuation to the downside. And so that continuation, I think, will come into this wick that we can see here. Okay, so the low of that particular week is 107.24. I'm looking up here where the prices are. Okay, on this top, let me just move that over so you can see the price. So if I put my mouse on this wick, that low on this weekly chart is 107.24. I don't think we will get all the way down there. Let's put a range and just find out where is halfway, and that comes in at 107.42. Okay, so I think that's kind of where I believe we're headed. Now, overall, I do think this chart that we see here, well, let me talk more about that on a daily. That'll be easier to see. But for now, on this weekly chart, I think we could get down as far as 107.42. Now, I don't expect that to be a straight move down. Okay, the market doesn't typically move like that. At each point where liquidity or a inefficiency is balanced, so either liquidity is taken or inefficiency balanced, the market will seek something of the same in the opposing end. So that's how we kind of get a little downtrend. We'll have a move down, market will go back up, then take out these lows, then go back up, and then eventually we'll take out something down there if the market's reaching for that level. So it's not going to be a straight move down. Okay, so let's now jump to the daily time frame and see what we see in the dailies. Okay, so on the dailies, I think you can clearly see big down day on Friday. So there will definitely be inefficiencies inside of that move on a lower time frame, where once the market takes out these lows, then one would expect the market to seek something in the opposing end, some kind of inefficiency. I don't think we're going to go all the way back up here to rebalance this entire gap, maybe sometime in the future. So we need to kind of work out where's the market going to, after taking out this liquidity, where does the market then seek on the opposing end something prior to coming back down to that level there, which is at 107.40. Okay, so that level, 107.40, I think we will take out these equal lows. Okay, that 107.60, in my view, will be the next draw after taking out this low. Okay, and that means I think we will come into this wick, which aligns with the level that we put on our chart from the weekly charts. Okay, so if I now take this wick and kind of just see, okay, where is the midpoint of that wick, and just see where does that come in at. So I think that's kind of the range that I'm expecting this to come in, somewhere around that 174, 107.36. Okay, now what we can do is drop into a 4-hourly chart and see, do we have anything that aligns with that. Now, it could be that we don't get all the way down here. These two down candles may act as support. So I'm going to put a line right here at the open of that down candle, because that is under those equal lows, and these two down candles could act as support. So we need to kind of watch the market at 107.55. Okay, so anywhere in this zone is kind of where I think the market is now reaching for. Okay, I think even if we do get to 107.55, which is the open of this down candle, the market may wick a little bit down, but the bodies, in my view, will remain at this level. Okay, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Let's drop down to a 4-hourly chart and see what do we see. Okay, so we, I think, are going to be attacking this low. Okay, whether we get that next week immediately or we have a pullback and then come back into it, I'm not sure. But I think that we'll get this that's kind of where I believe the market will be reaching for. We have come into this gap, okay? And so this is the last swing low, okay? So that's the swing that made this high. So we've now traded below that and we've closed, meaning that we've got down candles closing below that level. So market structure to the downside has been broken on a 4-hourly chart. And so this last two down candles should act as resistance on the way up, okay? So that's kind of, for me, anywhere in this zone is kind of where I'd be looking for any continuation short entries, okay? That's where the market, in my view, needs to come back up into, okay, prior to continuation, okay? So if we get these lows taken, then we can expect the market to then seek liquidity or some kind of inefficiency on the opposing end. And so that's where that balancing would come in, okay? It may come up to here or some level in here, and I believe that level needs to be in this zone, okay? So we need to monitor the market, okay? We don't just enter just because we've reached a price point, because there's nothing stopping this market going all the way up, back up to those highs. I don't think that's going to be the case, but that's what our job is, to monitor price and see how does price behave. So what I want to see is I want to see these lows taken. I then want to see the market, so come through, come back up. I want to see how does the market trade when it reaches this level here, 108.40, okay? That 108.40, I want to see that occur in one of the 3 sessions, okay? I want to see weakness at that price point for a potential continuation. So we're studying price action. So we've learned over my previous videos that market's going to be reaching for liquidity, which is there. Once it does that, market's going to reach for the same in the opposing end. Now, that could be in the form of liquidity, okay? Liquidity rests above these highs, this high there, okay? That aligns with this level that should hold as resistance on the way up. So that's where I want to see how price behaves in that zone, okay? I want to see what session are we in at that time when price gets there, and how does price behave in that session, okay? I want to see weakness once we get up there, some indication, some confirmation that maybe that is acting as resistance after this move down back into there for a continuation, okay? And I think that's what we're kind of looking for into next week. So we'll need to monitor how the market goes. And your job is now to study the charts, okay? Watch the market over the next couple of days. What does the market do once the market goes below this? Is it going to go below this? Are we going to perhaps not even get there? Maybe we go up. Sometimes the market leaves these lows intact, or the market comes close to these lows and reverses, indicating a double bottom, which entices long traders to get in the market. Market is then reaching for this liquidity, the highs there, okay, which should come in at this resistance level. So there's a few things aligning with that, okay? So we want to see what does the market do at 108.40. Has it taken out these lows? Has it not taken out those lows? If we continue to go down, not even reverse, and get down to our 107.40, well, then I'm not interested, because then we've kind of reached our objective and we didn't get an opportunity to get into that, okay? So it's important to monitor price. So if we take out these lows, then come back up here, well, I'm not interested to go back down. I'll then need to assess what's going on, because my concept, my entire idea is based on the fact that I think that's where the market is reaching for. Notice there is also a gap right there, okay? And that is above this line that I marked out. Go back, rewind, and work out what that line is, okay? That Maroon line. So that could be the current target, okay, which is above 107.40, but it's in that range that I think the market is now reaching for, okay? But for me to consider this opportunity, I will not consider this opportunity from where we are now. That's not enough for me. I want this to move up. I need that initial manipulation that maybe the lows are in, long traders getting into the market. Then I want to see what does the market do at these predefined levels, 108.40. How's the market behaving at that point in time? Do I see weakness for a continuation move down to where I think the market's going? Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking on the euro. I hope this video has been insightful. Monitor the markets over the next few days into next week and have a look at how the market performs based on the ideas that I've discussed in this video, so that you may learn how price behaves, so that you can understand and be able to forecast future price movement based on current and historical price action behavior. Okay, so I'll now talk with you in a future video.